welcome actually to everyone who's here on site. So you'll have to forgive us, will be constantly. I just wanted to welcome you to the facility first of all and say hi to everybody online. I am 5 weeks in post, so I'm the director for the Digital Twin Centre and just recently joined Digital Catapult. A little bit of context for that is that the centre, you'll hear later in my talk, has 3 founding partners. And actually before I came here, I was one of the founding partners involved in the OBC. So I came from Artemis Technologies, where I was their director of government programmes. So I've kind of been involved in this programme since it was a business case, and delighted to be involved from that stage. So really to be here and responsible for the delivery of our outcomes is something that I am very happy to say is next steps for me. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Digital Catapult so in the presentation, and then I'll talk more about the centre and what we're trying to achieve. But really at the core of that is what I'd had for the vision from the beginning. So I'll talk you through that as well. And I think we already know that I'm going to talk specifically about kind of the partner focus for me. Maritime, aerospace and defence covers the key focus of the partners who are involved in the centre. And obviously, I came from Artemis with the maritime background, but my whole career has been spent in modelling and simulation in aerospace. That's kind of where my primary expertise is: structural modelling, CFD, aerostructural modelling, and kind of the challenges of joining disconnected models. So that's something that I've been involved with since the beginning of my career in the early 90s, which instantly ages me. So really just an introduction to Digital Catapult and what we're all about. And we're part of the Innovate UK Catapult network. So the catapults themselves provide a unique combination of cutting-edge R&D facilities and really, as I hope you'll see throughout the day, world-class technical expertise to support innovation. Collaborating with the catapults is something that's been a big part of my professional life for the last probably 4.5 years, when I got exposed to that startup and innovation culture, and it's had a massive impact on what I, in my previous role, was able to achieve. So I'm very much looking forward to the work that we do here in Digital Catapult in Belfast. They're a critical element of Innovate UK's portfolio of products and services. And really, I think of it as a huge de-risker for startups as well. Being able to draw from technical expertise and actually try things out is really valuable. What we do specifically in Digital Catapult is our mission is really to accelerate the practical application of deep tech to equip the UK to be future ready. So at the heart of that, for me, something that I personally I'm really passionate about is solving what matters. It's not challenges for challenge sake. It's like, what do businesses need? What do industries need from us? And what can we do to deliver on those real challenges? And really what we want to do from that is develop products and services as well, so that the scale up and continual journey of innovation can be equipped. And we partner for progress with UK government, industry and academia. You'll see that we have close links, and there's many opportunities for future projects to be created as well. And challenge purposefully is at the heart of our values. In addition to are we solving what matters, is are we doing it the right way? And that's something that we're continually revisiting. Our areas of focus are in enabling deep tech companies to scale. And I suppose for me, when I came to Digital Catapult, one of my first questions was really like, what do you really mean by deep tech? So that's a journey that I'm on at the minute, is exploring all the technology capability that Digital Catapult has to offer. And it's been really interesting in areas that I haven't specifically had experience of. So there's a wealth of expertise there. But the thing that to me is directly related to what we're doing here within the centre is around driving UK digital supply chain resilience. So I think of a lot of the big players in digital twin technology and the big aerospace primes. They have their capabilities, but the supply chain coming up into them, it's very difficult to know how they are going to adopt those technologies to kind of support that design process through product design, and that's something that I think that we can play a really big part of within the centre here. And then around advancing UK development with data-driven and open future networks. Data and how data is transferred is at the heart of digital twin technology, as I'm sure you're already all aware, and that's something that is at the backbone of the services that we have expertise in. I'll not dwell too much on what we actually offer as Digital Catapult. You can see here that we offer a range of services from bespoke software and data services, where we have a consultancy arm, right the way through to facilitating and convening, which is what we're doing here today. We're bringing together groups of people who have common interests and actually connecting up other companies, and that's something that is hugely valuable to what happens within the UK and broader innovation space. So kind of that brings me to the Digital Twin Centre and how it was established. So the Digital Twin Centre is delivered by Digital Catapult. It was bringing together 3 industrial partners in Digital Catapult to deliver the vision for a centre dedicated to, in my view, the most important thing, which is our North Star, I like to call it, the demystify and demonstrate and deployment of digital twins. So I find over the years, people have assigned different meanings to what digital twins are, what digital twin technologies are. Some people think of it as just the models. Some people think of it as a whole big sphere of things. But to me, it's in clarifying and being clear about what we're actually all trying to do that we can help bring people along the journey. So that, to me, is our North Star for the centre, which is demystify, and we're starting there. And you'll see how we're going on to demonstrate and deploy as well. So the centre was established from a £37.6 million investment from Belfast Regional City deal, from Innovate UK and the industry partners who are also feeding into their use cases into the centre. The vision is that there'll be a £62 million increase in GVA across 10 years, with 230 new jobs generated, really primarily because of the skills and expertise that are being developed through learning how to use these technologies, but also the advancements in, I think, product design. Whenever I came to the centre as a partner, design smarter was the goal that I had in my mind. We were kind of going along on the journey of developing products, and what I really wanted to know is how we could bring products to market more quickly, and that was a motivating factor for me, and for the aerospace and Thales as well. So we all had a vision of how we could take time out of our product development life cycle, take risk out as well, and that was kind of our motivating factor for getting involved. We hope and we believe that the key outcome of what we're doing here will be a reduction in cost of developing digital twins and the use of the technology there. And we are demonstrating through our partners initially 6 use cases. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about those. How we as a centre are actually planning to achieve our objectives. So this to me is almost like it's like our project plan in form. So through demystifying, we are working with on an outreach, innovation and dissemination plan, which is events like this for education, but also partnerships that we're developing with other organisations. So we'll be running webinars and events and dedicated workshops here. We are developing and soon to be launched the community platform and an e-learning platform as well. The one thing that isn't available yet, but it's going to be a focus of next year, is something that I was very passionate about as a partner, was a technology access program. So one of the key things that I'd wanted from the centre was to be able to come and to use industry standard software and to get that experience in a sandbox environment where we would be able to experiment with what's available before we make our decisions commercially. So that's something that you'll be able to see in the upcoming year, hopefully. Market analysis is a huge part of that. It's like, what what are the needs, what are people currently using, what is the reason for needing digital twin technology, and what do they want there. So that readiness assessment piece alongside market analysis allows us to be very clear on the why of why people need digital twin technology. We also are responsible for funding competitions. So you'll see that later on in this week we'll be launching an industrial accelerator programme. And there's future programs that are coming up. The academic accelerator program will be launching very soon, within the next month, I'm anticipating. So you'll see those challenges. And one of the things that I really want us to be ready with is a list of challenges that we can pose to SMEs, but also really work closely with local universities and in the broader UK to understand what the lower TRL challenges are as well. So that administering of the flexible fund is a real innovation incubator that we are hoping to see more of. Our core research is really around the development of our products and our technical offering. So that includes digital twin as a service. It includes the methodologies that we are going to be using in joining up the different digital twin technology areas. As I've mentioned before, it's gaining an understanding of what industry standard tools are available, what off-the-shelf products are available, and why they may be used in certain areas. So there's a lot of really good work that can be done in collating that information and sharing it in the knowledge base. And that kind of leads into that knowledge hub. And one of the key things that we as Digital Catapult want to do is to take the knowledge from our industrial partners. So they're working on their use case demonstrations, and we want to take that knowledge that's across all domains and actually be a place where that information can be stored and disseminated. Local, I'm going to say local industries, anybody is protective of their IP. People, not everybody can get involved in the very detailed technology that the partners are developing, but Digital Catapult have that unique insight across all partners, and we will be able to extract that value and share it with the broader SME industry. And then around deployment, we have our use cases, our partners' use cases. I'll cover in a little bit of detail in following slides, but we're also establishing our own use cases for Digital Catapult. So we will be putting flagship use cases into the centre that will allow us to demonstrate the technological capability of Digital Catapult. And we obviously, through our demos, you'll see in the lab that we have some demos of technology already here. We're expanding that core facility in, I think, January. We're anticipating to see 6 more demos in site for people to come and visit. So I suppose one of the key things is that the clarity of the definition. What is a digital twin? So this is the definition to Digital Catapult. This is what the Digital Twin Centre is holding as the definition for the digital twin. So it's a dynamic virtual representation of a physical asset, process or system, bridging the physical and digital worlds, operating through a fully connected data flow between the physical asset and its virtual counterpart. We turn this data into real-time insights to optimize performance, reduce costs, and predict outcomes. As somebody who's always come from a modeling and simulation background, that's, we always think modeling and simulations at the heart of that. It's a big part of it, but there's a whole area of technology that obviously allows that all to be joined up, and that's kind of the focus of our technical experts in the centre. The core qualities of it is that it evolves over time and connected to real data. It's simulation ready and tailored to outcomes, but obviously security is a big part of what needs to be addressed there. So it's something that's hugely important in the technology that we're developing. And it's that two-way connectivity between physical asset and virtual virtual representation that joins it all up to be a digital twin. And for me personally in my career, that was the challenging part. You know, I had a lot of experience of building models, I had a lot of experience of designing tests to validate models, but having something that joins that whole process up is a challenge, and that's the challenge that we're here to try to address. In the centre here, and obviously our head of technology is here today, and he can give you, Mark's there waving, he can give you much more insight into this area than I could have required. Yeah, I'll speed it up. Mark is available, and we'll chat afterwards about any of the technology areas that you want to address. So I'm going to leave this because what I really wanted to get to is actually a bit of a explanation of what the partners are doing within the centre. I'm not going to explain the benefits for industry adopters. I'm fairly sure that if you're in the room, you're already familiar with the technology and why people might want to get involved. We all know the barriers to entries are around the costs and the skills and the common tools and assets that are required. So, you know, our vision for the centre is to actually help address that. But briefly, I wanted to put in front of you the use cases. So the Artemis use case, I'm going to show a few slides on because I think it's really important to show the progress that has been made in that area. Thales are working on unmanned systems, modelling and simulation environments, and a digital twin backbone environment that they're doing for research and development. Spirits are working on thrust reverser analysis and redesigning, and they've got some unique challenges around taking old software and actually making it ready to be digital twin equipped into modern environments. I am sharing with permission some of Artemis's progress here. So their use case was really around taking digital twin technology and modelling the bollard push manoeuvre. So that's basically how they transfer staff from a boat onto a wind turbine or into an offshore environment. It uses a lot of power, and they were kind of convinced but weren't assured that they could reduce the energy required for that. And they have developed a program that actually takes them through from customer requirements through to their design process and then into on-water testing to actually develop this technology. And that's the use case that they're demonstrating through this project. So they have models, and they have models across all the areas of their technology development. They've got socioeconomic models right the way through down to detailed physics models. And this project was to try and equip them to join that up into one combined tool chain. But really their focus is on modelling and simulation and the validation of those models. And that's the technology that they've been developing. The digital twin that they have their physical models, they have their virtual models, and then they have a test bench. So they've designed a test bench to test each one of the models that they've developed, and then they're actually rolled right the way through to on-water testing. So the progress that they've actually made within 2 years has been unbelievable. You know, they've gone from blank sheet of paper ideas to actually having a massive test rig and technology, the auto push technology that hadn't been developed at the time of the project, has been developed and is actually being tested on the water, and they're learning from it now. But I suppose the heart of what their use case was figuring out that journey from modelling and simulation to actual testing and to joining up the dots in the digital twin. So I've just shared this slide with their permission because what they had to do was step back and see what physical models are required to represent the physics of their situation. And then for each model, go through that checklist of what do we actually need to model and what's the right thing to do there? How much sensitivity is required in the sensing process? How will your data be extracted and used? And what's an acceptable model metric? How do you know you've actually converged to good enough? And there's the big question at the end, which is the one that's still unanswered for all of the partner use cases, which is how can that feedback loop be initiated? So there's still challenges to be resolved, and we're very much looking forward to partnering them with that. So hopefully that was more than you'd expected to hear on the Digital Twin Centre and Digital Catapult, but it's been lovely to meet you and thank you for your time.
So the next question for both of you, so I'll come to Katrina first. What are your observations on key learnings and takeaways from the application of digital twins and innovation in your spaces, so maritime, defence, etc.?
Yeah, so I suppose for me, coming from Artemis, we had a real early experience of the challenge of interoperability between models. So we kind of gone in a direction of how we thought we were going to develop our technology, and then we got two different systems trying to talk to each other. We realised we'd, chosen a solution that wasn't easy to integrate. And these things you don't know at the time. These are things where, and actually I know Spirit have had similar challenges where they went in a direction and then had to pivot, and that's part of what we're hoping to help avoid, by understanding challenges that our partners have already had, where they had to make changes in that interoperability piece, actually, joining systems of systems. I suppose, and that actually really ties up well to the next question, is like having standards. What is a common way to allow tools to talk to each other, and standards are a huge part of that too. So that, to me, that challenge of connecting things up was a big one.
And then Katrina, you mentioned as part of the UK DTC offering this flexible funding and approach. How do we ensure that we don't get stuck at pilot phase or concept phase and actually get to scale?
So to me, and there might be people in the room better equipped to answer this, but I will start, if that's okay, and then pass on to any of my colleagues who have a better answer, because the Accelerator programme was actually new to me. It's not something that I had experienced before I came here, but I have been involved actually partly through TRIG, through to the Clean Maritime Demonstration Competition at various levels of progression, through from feasibility to design, development and deploy. And that's something brilliant that Innovate UK do, is that journey of granularity through the system. So I think the Accelerator is a brilliant way to de-risk your proposal, your feasibility, and to explore in that way. But the outcome of that can be your business case. It can be a better definition of what you would go into with a future funding opportunity. And there's programs with Invest NI, there's programs with local regional funders in England and beyond. So there's opportunities to take that and use the Accelerator program to really clarify what your offering is. I will open it up to the room if there's anybody else who wants to add anything else about the Accelerator program. Nope. All right.
Great.